Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. Happy New Year. It is the first game of 2022 for me, and I am running a Star Wars Saturdays game. We're kicking off a series of Apocalypse World, as you can see, set on Tatooine, using the Edge of the Empire setting. Edge of the Empire, Star Wars officially licensed RPG. I know I won't run Edge of the Empire, but I'll totally mine it for ideas. Moshuta, which is Escape from Moshuta, I think is in the box set, beginner box set. I like it. It's a cool little setting. If you take a look at Alan, he's got the plateau Moshuta set on a mesa. It's pretty neat. And so we're running. I'll be running Apocalypse World Burned Over. This is the updated version. So Apocalypse World Burned Over is a hack of Apocalypse World by Vincent McKay Baker. They released a Kickstarter zine and zine quest a few years ago, and then have continued to iterate and develop it. In September of 2021, on Vincent's Patreon, he released an updated version of it, and I quite like it. From the read, it felt like it addressed a few areas that I felt didn't love from the latest version of Apocalypse World Burned Over, and I got to get this to the table. And since I'm a plan aheader, I decided to do that in January, which is now. So we are using the September 2021 iteration of Apocalypse World Burned Over. If you're interested in it, you can back Vincent McKay Baker's Patreon, and that's how you get access to it. So there you go. It is, again, still in development. It's not a full book. You do need to occasionally refer back to Apocalypse World 2nd edition, which is the full-on Apocalypse World, but there are some significant changes, brand new playbooks, a whole lot of stuff going on. We are going to like tilt our heads just a little bit because we're playing in Star Wars, which means that the Psychic Maelstrom and the Force, like those two don't lock in perfectly well. The Psychic Maelstrom in Apocalypse World is usually pretty not good. The Force is the closest analog in Star Wars. So we'll play with that. And my excuse is that it's set on Tatooine, and Tatooine used to be a verdant and beautiful world. And then long ago, bad things happened. Therefore, the Force is bad occasionally. Costs. It's not dark side per se, but I do think that there's going to be some dark side things that happen. But we'll play it by ear, and I trust and adore all these players, so I'm very excited to play some Apocalypse World with them. So with all that out of the way, just as a reminder, we do have safety tools that everyone has taken a look at, and I appreciate that. We have some lines and some veils, as well as ask first. The ask first means that if it's content that you think, oh yeah, let me introduce midichlorians, then there's an ask first, meaning, hey, check in with us as players before you drop it in, and say, hey, I was thinking of so-and-so, is that cool? And then veil means it's stuff that we're okay if it happens, but we're going to shine a light on it. For example, we have consensual sex. So if two characters are going to hook up, we just fade to black, or we do a screen wipe, whatever, a little bit of jazz music plays in the background, something along those lines, and we move right ahead. And then lines are things that we're not interested in. We currently have a line against sexual assault and violence and death and endangerment of children. So that's just, if I will remain as cognizant of this as possible, but if I get excited and I dip my toe into something that's lined, please just give me a heads up. Hey, Rich, I think we have a line on so-and-so thing. I will not get defensive, I promise. And then we'll move on. On top of that, in case folks haven't, oh, I didn't realize that I would need to do a line on so-and-so, we have the X card. X card can be played any time for any reason. For example, I will X card if people say that shields are at X percentage, because that's Star Trek, sucker, and I'll X card it. Actually, probably should put a line on that. So, Star Trek terminology, such as Jeffrey's tubes, shields at X percent, those kind of things. And three terms that don't really go together to explain an anomaly. Anyway, I'm just having fun there. So with all of that out of the way, let's go around. Folks have created their characters, chosen playbooks, gone in, chosen moves and stats and all that good stuff. But we took a break before we began the recording, and now folks will be introducing their characters. I think because Alan jumped the gun. Not really jump the gun. It's totally cool. I'm just joking and teasing here. But Alan, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character.
Hello, my name is Alan. My pronouns are he, him. And today I'm playing AL1N, who is a droid, but prefers to use she, her pronouns. I described to a friend, she's Ali. She doesn't have very many friends. But AL1N is a battle-scarred droid who seems to be deliberately seeking to appear calm. And she is calm, almost placid, until she isn't. And then you wouldn't like her when she's angry. But yeah, she is trying to seek some kind of calmness in this calm desert world where there are no distractions. That allows her to get her shit together.
And then what scavenge did you choose?
I chose that, well, unsurprisingly as a droid, Ali doesn't eat for pleasure. I need only fuel, inverted commas. I don't care for comfort. I sleep little and in silent dreamlessness. I collect no wealth. I have -2 barter.
Oof. Okay, nice. And then I don't know if you noticed it, but I wanted to highlight in Mos Hutt, there's a power station that draws power from kind of geothermal energy. So there's some drills and drilling down into the mesa itself. And in the mornings, before things start to get hot from the twin suns of Tatooine, that's when a lot of the farmers and others who have droids will bring them by to get them recharged. So just a little heads up of a thing that I thought was interesting and would be applicable to Ali. Awesome. Thank you so much for telling us about Ali. Now let's move to the right for Undish. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yeah, hello, I'm Anders, he, him. I am playing Cor Starfell, the medic. He is very intense, very brusque, very no-nonsense. But deep inside, he really cares about helping people, and he does his best, which means I also have barter -2 because everything I get, I pour into improving the infirmary I have. So he doesn't have a lot of walking around money. Yeah, I think I have some ideas about the infirmary, but I think I need to read up a bit on the on Mos Hutt, and I'll come back to you.
Cool. Okay. There is actually a medical center on the map. So that is your medical center, unless you decide you don't want it to be that, and then we'll just pick a place. It's totally cool. Quite looking forward to seeing your Starfell character in action. Quite enamored with the picture that you've chosen. This is going to be fun. That's a guy from Scrubs, right?
Yeah, it's Dr. Cox. I felt like his image it fits quite well with what I wanted.
Oh yeah, he looks super serious. I love it. Just excited that I recognized the character. I'm like, hey, I think that's from the Scrubs show. Cool. Thank you very much, Undish. And next up, Bethany, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Bethany. I am playing Sundown, who I think I remember uses she, her pronouns. She does now. And who is the brainer or brain picker in Burned Over. She's been hanging around here for a while, occasionally helping murder hardholders, and Don't know what she's been up to in the meantime, but she currently has the princely sum of 0 barter, making her the richest of this group.
That is crazy. Yeah, so you're known and feared by some, but you won't use your psychic abilities just to exploit or extort people. So you have a barter of +0. And it looks like you've got deep brain scan and embrace the maelstrom. Embrace the maelstrom gives you +1 weird and +1 psi. That's what the little pitchforky thing means, which is fascinating.
And I have deep air plugs, because I remember which I remember using last time, and a psychic overload chamber, which gives me access to the augury move. So I'm not sure exactly what a psychic overload chamber does or looks like, but I guess we can figure that out.
We sure can. That'll be fun. I'm really curious now. What is it going to look like? Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bethany. And last but certainly not least, we have Cisco.
Hello, I'm Cisco. I pronounce he, him. I'll be playing Crush, who is a Zabrak no one. And I picked the no one because I like emergent play. And when you pick the no one, you literally don't know what your past is. You make it up with the GM as you go, which sounds really interesting. And also, what's more Star Wars than that? A mysterious character in the desert. We don't know their past. That sounds as archetypal as it comes. Crash is running away from a group who wants him, and he doesn't know why. He just knows that he's been escaping throughout the planet for the last 2 years. And he has a kind of like a vehicle where he collects trash and trades with the local Jawas and the people of Moshuta. And that's how he makes his living, is living as an urchin in the wilderness and coming into town and bartering. So.
Ooh, so I'm really curious about this. So you chose the scavenge if you don't have goods to trade or a good name to trade on. Do you imagine that he double checking? Okay, do you use he him pronouns for the character? So do you imagine that Kresh lives in Moshuta or off of the mesa?
I think
living off the mesa is tough, but I'm open to it.
Yeah, I think off of the mesa, like nearby, probably in some rock formations.
Okay.
There's a convenient shantytown, isn't there?
There is. Shantytown would be totally legit.
There is. I think he probably keeps a hole somewhere, like literally, because if I remember, Shantytown has like a bunch of abandoned living spaces. So he has found the abandonedest of them, and he knows a hole in that place that he can go hide to. But I think, yeah, I get the feeling that he has like different caches, and he doesn't really have a home per se.
I'm into it. That is fascinating. Cool. Thank you, Cisco. All right, so let's circle back around to Alan and do some HX. If you want to try to fill out all the HX, Alan, that's totally cool. If you just want to do one and we go around in turns, that's cool too.
Well, mine's very simple. I ask each of you whether you are afraid of me or not. So yeah, I will go in keeper order and ask Core Starfell, does this odd droid frighten you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I definitely recognize that you're dangerous. So I think that should count, probably. I think I'm not like, ooh, that's a scary person, but I recognize that you're dangerous and I don't quite trust you, probably. So.
Okay, so I get HX -1 with Core Starfell. Sundown, what about you?
I was going to say no, but then I have this hex question of, do any of you seem dangerous and unpredictable to me? I think you seem dangerous and unpredictable to me.
Okay, that's yes. -1 HX with Sundown. Crash, do I seem at all dangerous to this lost boy?
I'm gonna say that in Kresh's memories, the threat has always come from organics, and if you can build it, you can break it, kind of thing. So probably droids are safer than people.
Okay, then I get +2 HX with Crash. Thank you, and that's me done.
That is pretty quick and easy, painless, really. All right, then let's move over to Undish and do some HX for Core Starfell.
Yeah, I figure this will map. I looked at the location and stuff, and I figured out a quick backstory, so that may
fun.
into things. I think because this team of the Hutt, this was fairly recent that he was like bombed out and that sort of thing. So I think Core was like pressed into service to Timo, so he was like forced to be a doctor for him, take care of his man, that sort of thing. But when he was driven out, Core took over like part of the palace. So because I have this access to water, so I think there's some water pump or some filtration or something. And I have some some walls or something. So I've like converted part of the palace to an infirmary, basically, part of the ruins. And I figure that backstory could figure into how I relate to the other characters. Yeah. Anyway.
So you set up at Timo's palace. That's awesome.
Yeah, but not like, I mean, it's just a small part of it. But I've taken like the water filtration or pump or whatever it is, and I've centered around that, keep that working. And set up an infirmary around there, and probably converted one of his vehicles into an ambulance. So it used to be some sort of like, maybe not a military vehicle, but like
a skiff or a speeder.
Yeah, skiff. That would be cool. That would be really.
That'd be cool with me. Awesome. So you got a speeder. Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that backstory. So let's integrate you in and talk a little bit of HX now that we know. Let me ask a question before we move on, though. So if you've set up there, do you, just because I don't want to double up the idea of this place having a medical center and your infirmary doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So are we just going to say that the medical center closed down?
Yeah, maybe the medical center was where he was originally working, but then Timo was like, I need a medic. There's a medic over there. You're working for me now. And so it's the old medical center, but it's been abandoned.
Okay, I like it.
And I think I have this thoughtful NPC caretaker advisor thing. I was thinking maybe that was a medical droid of some kind, because Core doesn't really work well with other people.
Okay.
Most of the time. If that's okay.
Yeah, that works for me.
Cool. So my questions, I think the important one is, have you been beside me all along and seen everything I've seen? I'm not sure if that works for any of the other characters, but if it does, then it's kind of an important thing.
I think I may have been sucked into Timo's orbit at some point, because I think he might well have had use for me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That gives me a +3 with you. So I think that's how so now I have a strong positive relationship with Ali. Is that correct?
Yes, a +2 HX means that, or a +3, sorry, +3 HX means that if you want to help Allie accomplish a thing or help them with move, you'd roll a 2d6 plus 3, and a 10 plus means that you would push them up a level of success. It also means that if Allie is doing something you don't like, you are really good at interfering with AL1N and stopping
Yeah, cool.
them.
Basically, I know Ali fairly well.
Right. And then at the end of every session, we'll do a thing of who knows you better, and you can increase the HX with the one person has towards you. And
That's when it can roll over.
Yep, and it can roll
Yeah.
over. Exactly. Cool.
So if I'll go through the other as well.
Yeah.
Others as well. Do I figure you're doomed to self-destruction? Does that fit anyone? No, no one's grabbing that. That's fine.
Good.
No.
What was the question again?
Do I figure you're doomed to self-destruction?
I'll take that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Then I have a
I'm living
-2
too
to
dangerously, man. Too dangerously.
And clearly no point helping. -2.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
And I don't write it on my sheet. You write it on your sheet, right, Andesh?
Right. Right.
Okay.
Then I have you put a hand in when it mattered to help me save lives? I guess that's a sundown, yes or no.
See that being me, that would make sense. Yeah. I've
Yep,
been hanging
cool.
around here for a while, getting involved in things that I have no business being involved in. That's probably some of them involved helping you.
Nice.
Cool. That's me.
All right. Fantastic. So now let's move further to the right. Bethany, got some HX to hand out for something.
Yeah. So, okay. I've already kind of, but I want to confirm this. Allie, do you seem dangerous and unpredictable to me?
I think ticking time bomb comes to mind.
Excellent. So that's +2. I love that, like, the people who are scared of me or that I am afraid of are the ones that get positive hex or HX. I don't know why I could call it hex. There's no E in it. And are any of you honestly uncomfortable hanging out with me?
Maybe. I think Core is not really comfortable with the idea of someone able to read his mind. So
Oh yeah, that's fair. Okay, cool. Oh, I have all positives because I get HX +1 just by default because I have weird insights into everyone. I just know everybody
You do.
better than they
Great.
want me to.
You know things. Cool. So finish you up?
Yep, that's all for me.
All right. Kresh. Easy one.
Sorry, I just had
That's
a
okay.
doggo on my lap, like dive
Aw.
off. I don't know what I missed. Sorry.
That's okay. I just if you want to start with HX. for
Okay.
Kresh.
I only have one question. It seems like it's just for one person. It says one of you shared your own food with me.
No, which of you? Which of
Oh,
you?
which
shared
of
your-
you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it could be multiple people.
It
Yeah,
totally
which of
could.
you? Cool. Yeah.
Not me.
No, because you don't have any food. Yeah. Yeah.
I could have.
Okay.
if
How about you?
if you've ever needed medical attention and I've taken care of you, then I've probably shared food with you, but not otherwise.
Okay. I think it makes sense that the medic has at some point during care.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sundown has.
Sundown and Core both have.
The people who eat food.
There you go.
have
Cool.
Well, that was easy.
Hmm.
We got 2 super easy HXs we just burned through. That's awesome. All right. Good. So now what we're going to do is I'm just stealing from the older iterations of Apocalypse World. And we're going to actually, let's see, are there any start of session moves that folks have? Beginning of session visions. So we have that to deal with. And doesn't look like we have any for anybody else for start of session. Is that right? Okay.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I got to jump straight into it. Here we go.
Richard, there is live day to day that we all have, I think.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, the live day to day, we should probably talk through that. So live day today. At the beginning of the session, roll plus barter. On a 10 plus ask, I don't even know where that came from. Ask the MC what's free and what's easy. On a 7 to 9, ask the MC what's easy and what's hard. On a miss, be prepared for the worst. Interesting. All right. Let's get started. Our first rolls. Alan, why don't you exist day to day? Go ahead and roll plus your pitiful barter.
2d6 is coming up. 10 minus 2 is 8.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So tell me what's easy and what's hard.
Nice. All right. What's easy and what's hard? Lomez is a pacifist. He's a Nautolan, which how did a Nautolan end up in Tatooine? Poor guy. But he's a pacifist who's runs the Dewback farm. Clarel works at the farm, and she would be interested in getting you to stay at guard, like do a little bit of guard duty, because there's some folks that there have been a couple of Dewbacks that have come up missing. Somebody's messing with them. So that's easy.
Yeah, that's very easy.
Very easy. And then what's hard? I think El Cacti would be interested in, he's got a line on a bounty, and he'd be interested in teaming up with you. But as he would explain, the lovable Gran, you're not a bounty hunter, so it wouldn't be a full share, but you could make some creds off of it.
When you say not a full share, you don't mean not a full share, do you?
Listen, I'm the one who had to go get the bounty hunter's license. I'm the one who has to turn it in at the office. I'm doing all the work here. You're just a hired gun.
You see this gun, and I hold up the blaster as per the picture. This blaster isn't loaded. I simply keep it so people don't get frightened. This is what frightens people, and I sweep the poncho away to reveal the rotating barrels of the blaster cannon. And I would like to confront friend El Cacti.
All right. Let's see you do that. That sounds fun.
So because of this intimidating, my integrated armaments, when I reveal them, I get terrifying, take +1 on the roll. And so confront goes from +1 to +2 then. So let's roll 2d6. That becomes a 10.
Wow. Okay. I love it. We're already triggering moves in the middle of barter stuff. So good. Let me jump down here on a 10. I'm pretty sure he's just going to fold over. 10 plus, they have to choose back down and give you your way, defy you, and fight back, or else make their case and ask you to reconsider. Cacti reaches up and scratches one around one of his 3 eyes because he's a gran. Says, "Just this hardly seems fair, but I guess if you can make sure that we don't have to work too hard on this bounty, then I guess that's gonna work." Sure.
He's
Sure.
such a relief for you.
All right.
And the barrels slow down to a stop. Thank you.
Nice. That is good stuff. So let's move on to live day to day for Core Starfell. So live day to day, I've got that move highlighted on the moves tab. At the beginning of every session, roll plus barter. 10 plus, you ask me what's free and what's easy. 7 to 9, what's easy and what's hard. And on miss, be prepared for the worst. I have ideas.
Ooh, I get a 7 despite my -2. That's
Oh,
better than I had
nice.
hoped for.
Cool. By the way, I just as I talked about with Moshuta, someone went in and created maps, or I don't know if they created them or found them or whatever, but I've got a map of Teimo's palace. I'll drop it in the NPCs and places. It's whole and intact. So this would just be, we'll use that as our starting point. I'm going to stick it in the NPCs and places. And I'll do that in just now. What's easy and what's hard? I think, there we go. Oh, that stinks. So it's not going to work. All right. I'll make it bigger later. I think what's easy is that you could convince the populace of Moshuta, hey, you should get checked for, there's got to be some kind of lice or some kind of disease, and you can make a few credits. That said, you're the kind of person that's gonna spend all those credits to improve things, right? But it's enough to get you a little bit of, seasonal and lice rash. There we go. It's pretty not good to have such things. That's easy. Because I imagine Core, even though he's not great with people, he drove out the last person who ran a medical center, so he must know what he's doing, right? What's hard? That's interesting. I think what's hard, I've been a little hesitant on this, but I'm gonna say that what's hard is traveling out of Moshuta and heading out to Mos Espa, picking up supplies. But of course, that's a little bit dangerous. You probably don't want to do that by yourself.
So is it dangerous because of the weather, or is it like bandits and that sort of thing?
I was thinking bandits.
Yeah, cool.
I'll let you think on that, and we will move further to the right for sundown. Let's have you live day to day.
In spite of the fact that I have no debt, I got a 3.
Ooh, be prepared for the worst. You found out that someone put out a bounty on you. Yeah.
Nice. Do I know who or what for?
Oh, I mean, you just we'll say that you overheard it at Baba's, which is the place that sells some pretty good food. Yeah, you overheard it at
Okay.
Baba's, and some people are starting to like move away from you. So you may need to Like there is a bounty hunting office. It's in very bad disrepair, and the droid that is stationed there is not fully functional. But yeah, that's probably the best place to find out information unless you want to ask around. So yeah, you can think about what you want to do with that
Cool.
information. And then we'll jump over to Kresh, our mousy lost survivalist. And let's see how you live day to day with your.
How do I figure out my barter score?
Okay, so if you take a look at the scavenge, I'm highlighting it. It's on BH22 for you. You've got a drop down here of A and B.
Okay.
So those are the two. Oh, wait, B doesn't pull up anything? Well, that's weird. Hold on. I'll look on the character sheet because
It's conceivable that there is nothing.
that is possible. Let me double. Yep, that's right. You have A. You have no choices. You have -2. You don't have goods to trade or trade in or a good name to trade on. So you have a barter of -2. That's how you figure it out. -2. Sorry.
No problem. I took one move that gives me on Fortune's Tide, you have a kind of psychic good luck that materially provides for you. You get +1 psi.
Okay.
Add your psi to your barter.
Nice. So you got a -1 barter.
Okay. Even though my psi is okay, yeah, my psi is 1. Okay, cool.
Right.
All right, cool. All right, here we go. 8.
Hey, easy and hard.
Easy peasy.
Cool.
Based on what we've established already, I think Kresh is going to make a bit of a suicidal attempt to go to the other settlement and make that run. So I'm going to throw that out there if you wanted to riff off of that, or if you wanted to add something completely different, Rich.
Ooh, that could be interesting. So you want to make a run, what, like to pick up some stuff, to deliver some stuff?
Yeah, so if like it's particularly dangerous out there, I am trying to think like a capitalist and be like, okay, I got to strike while it's hot. I can probably get some good prices for some basic stuff. You know, let's see what we can do. I'm currently maybe neutral with the Tuscans of the area, and I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary and try to go through Tuscan Raider territory and see if I can sign language my way through some peaceful negotiations. So.
Wow. Now, could we, just so we don't have game one where two people are leaving Moshuta and going separate directions, can we have both Kor and Kresh heading to Mos Espa then? If Kor chooses to go?
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe I've volunteered as a guide. Yeah.
Okay.
Muscle.
I mean, you can talk to them. You're good at this stuff. You know what you're doing. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Fluent Tuscan, I think.
Cool. I will avoid geeking out about Tuscan stuff from Book of Boba Fett, and we'll move on with the game. But it was really cool. Okay, so just to circle back to Sundown. So you found out you have a bounty on you. You overheard some people talking at Baba's Grill, and you're a little curious, like who put the bounty out on you and what for. So how do you want to figure that out?
See, do I know any NPCs who wouldn't immediately turn me in? Or any PCs that wouldn't immediately turn me in, but would know.
I don't know.
I mean, none of the PCs seem particularly connected, I don't think. Maybe.
I mean, if you're really curious, Sundown, you always could just open your brain to the psychic maelstrom.
I could,
understand this.
yes. I was thinking about like, finding a specific target for that, but I could just generally open my brain to the psychic maelstrom. That never goes wrong.
Nope.
I'm totally gonna do that.
I mean,
Sweet.
for what it's worth, Ali is probably known to hunt for bounties and anything else. If you wanted to use her
Oh
as an
yeah. Yeah. And you're dangerous and unpredictable. Clearly, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Allie.
Cool. Before we jump into that scene, because I definitely want to jump into that scene, you did roll to you rolled plus hard, right? You were confronting someone, or you were rolling plus aggro. So go ahead and mark, Alan, if you could mark one tick with aggro. And then if you get 4 ticks, then that counts as an XP towards improvement. So Sundown not going to open brain, just going to go talk to Allie.
I'm gonna go
Awesome.
talk to Allie first.
Where would Sundown find you, Allie?
Oh, outside on the gate of the Dewback farm. And as sundown approaches, the eyes kind of just focus. And Ali, takes the on guard position and says, "Sundown, I need to warn you, I am guarding these dewbacks. Please stay away from the dewbacks."
I wasn't planning on stealing a dewback, but I'll keep that in mind.
That is a relief. I did not want to kill you.
Good. I didn't want you to kill me either. And there are other people I also don't want killing me. And I was wondering if you've heard of say anybody who wanted to kill me, because apparently there is a bounty on me and I don't know why.
Oh, that is
Or who?
interesting.
Anybody
In a
approached you?
in a strange coincidence, I have arranged to undertake a bounty.
Huh. On me or on someone else?
I do not yet know. I will be discussing this with my partner in this enterprise at the end of my working day here at the Dewback farm.
And who is your partner in this enterprise?
His name is El Cacti.
So
Okay.
yeah, Sundown, what makes you uncomfortable about El Cacti?
Let me look at him real quick. Okay. Where is he? So like he's not a big deal. But he sometimes has access to weapons, to money, to people that he just like, it doesn't make sense for this like just minor con man to have. Either he's a really good con man and he doesn't seem like it, or he's into something, that isn't obvious.
Nice.
He
Yeah,
seems very trustworthy to me.
In the sense that you can always trust him not to be trustworthy. Yeah, I suppose so.
He responded very positively when I threatened him.
Good. Excellent. Thank you. That's good. That's useful information.
You are most
What did you
welcome,
think?
Sundown.
What's the problem with the dewbacks?
I have not looked into it in great detail. I understand that dewbacks are either going missing or machinery here is being vandalized.
Huh. Well, while I'm looking into this, I'll see if I can find anything about that out too. In return, I would very much appreciate it if you did not mention my being here.
To anyone.
To anyone. I'm not coming anywhere near the Dubacks. You don't have to tell the Dubacks owner that I was here.
There is logic in that. And then I turn away and ignore you.
And I leave.
Nice. Cool. So let's jump to Kresh and Core. What's the setup here? You both have vehicles, right? Core has this like ambulance speeder, and then Kresh has a, I don't know, is it?
I haven't detailed it, but I picture that it's going to be like a speeder bike.
Mhm.
Like this is a speeder bike, and then it has like an attachment in the back. What would you? I don't know what you would call that. And the back is, I mean, you could stick a person in there, I suppose, but it's mostly for me to get my supplies. What would you call it? Like a little trailer.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
there
just
you
like
go.
a little trailer, like it's got its own little grav pad thing going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll just call that a speeder bike. It has 2 weaknesses, 1 strength, and poor looks. Cool. I've tweaked the road refugee to say you get a speeder bike, and we'll detail it later. It's all good.
Cool. I don't know.
so-
I don't know what the weaknesses are, but yeah, whatever comes up at the moment, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I can help you with the weaknesses thing. I'm pretty sure that we can just grab some weaknesses when you build a car with, I like the operator, I think has some functionality with strengths and weaknesses, I think. Yeah, we'll figure it out. So then, Core, are you pulling Kresh along with you and going into your ambulance speeder?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
cool.
think that makes sense.
It's awesome.
Oh, that's a scary.
It's a
looking thing.
Winnebago.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I don't
awesome.
think there's no cannon on this one. It's not armed because
Okay.
that's kind of
Defeats the purpose of being an ambulance. Yeah,
yeah.
That is so cool. I love that.
that's a really cool pick.
But I think it used to be like just a transport vehicle, and it's converted it kind of into an ambulance. So it probably still has some tools and that sort of stuff in it. Yeah.
I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
So you sure you can get us through the Tuscan territory?
I'll say confidently, oh yeah. And inside I'm pretty nervous. Tuscan raiders can be a little bit volatile, and sometimes if you don't say something in their language quite right, maybe they get a little angry. But on the outside, I'm like, oh yeah, we got this.
Yeah, I think he gives you like a sideways glance and then just, well, if you're sure, it's because you realize this is important to the whole settlement, that we get these supplies.
Oh, the settlement. Yeah, of course. Of course. You know, I've never lost anyone on my watch as translator. So
As translator. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as you guys load up, getting fuel and ready to head out, I think the FX7 will come up and
Core Starfell, shall I remain at the medical center while you fly to Mosespa?
Yeah, that would be great. Just if there's any routine jobs that show up, I know you can handle it. And if anyone needs a treatment for the lice, just you know what to do. Anything else, just make a note of it, and I'll handle it when I come back.
Do you fully trust this bioorganic?
I just glanced to make sure Crash isn't right near me, so he can
He
see what
totally
I'm
is.
saying. I don't know. I figure he's my best shot, and we need to do this anyway.
Hmm.
So fully trust, no, but I trust him to act in his own self-interest, and he doesn't want to get killed by the raiders or the Tuscans any more than I do.
It will be a burden to run this entire infirmary without you. Please do not be destroyed.
I'll do my best.
And then he turns and hovers away. And I'm not sure if you guys saw the picture of the FX7. It is a delightful and terrifying looking thing that looks like totally out of a Lost in Space, got like a needle at the end of one of its many arms. It looks like it has like 6 arms. It's crazy. It is a terrifying thing. So yeah, it could totally be a torture group. And it will head into your little infirmary, and then Core and Kresh, I guess the two of you will be heading out. Now, Moshuta is up on a mesa. There is really only one easy entrance or exit from the mesa, which is passing the electro gate. The electro gate keeps you guys safe from any, gundarks or womp rats of unusual size, all the things that could try to come up that long road to the mesa. And as you guys troll out towards the electro gate, there are a couple of guards that keep eyes over the electro gate under the twin suns of Tatooine, heat bearing down. I think it's a Weequay, which they are these like tan-skinned, very rough looking individuals, and a Gamorrean. And the Weequay speaks basic, so he'll walk over. They have this little power trippy thing where they're gonna like make you talk to them before they let you go. So the Weequay comes over. He's wearing this like big thick like headband thing, like it gives him some kind of station or makes him cool. And he leans in. Hey, Core, where are you going?
Just getting supplies for the medical center.
So where are you headed then? Mos Espa, Mos Eisley,
Mos Espa.
Anchorhead? Oh, Espa?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he looks across. Is he sick or something?
No, this is my very own personal guide through the Badlands.
The Gamorrean. Okay. Well, good luck. Taps the top of the little roof thing, and then they head back, and the Gamorrean pulls a thing, and the electro gate moves, and you guys can head out and in. As you're heading down that long winding road, the first thing you notice is that there's a sand crawler that's slowly making its way over the horizons. It works a circuit. They trade with the Suluk clan and also anyone else that wants to get secondhand merchandise and technology and droids and all that good stuff. But they are on their way here. And you also see Kresh. You're the one that would notice that it looks like there's a little bit of a storm off to the east.
Maybe now is a good time to roll flashback as I peer into the storm in the distance.
Oh man. Okay, so let's talk about flashback here. Visions, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, vision.
That's okay. So yeah, we're still near beginning session. Roll plus hard.
Okay. My heart is -1. Okay.
Oh my.
Uh-huh. 7.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, the MC holds 2. The MC can spend one of their hold at a moment of transition to tell you that a vision comes on you and ask where you are and who you're with. The MC can spend 2 of their hold at any moment to interrupt you and tell you that a vision comes on you right now. The MC doesn't lose unspent hold at the end of the session, but it carries over. Oh my, and I've got 2 hold. I think I'm going to use one of those as you look out towards the horizon, seeing this sandstorm making its way, that swirling miasma, the maelstrom of sand. And yeah, a vision comes on you. And this vision, where are you? Who are you with?
Mm. Ooh, the interior of a machine bigger than human making. That's pretty much every Star Destroyer, though, isn't it? Yeah, I'm inside a very, very, very big machine.
Nice. And are you
a person you
Who are you
loved,
with?
whom you long to see again, is who I'm with.
Oh, interesting. And so this you feel you're on a Star Destroyer and you're with someone that you love. They're an Imperial then.
Maybe, or they're non-imperial like me, and we are maybe captured. I don't know.
Okay.
The visions
You're
are
captured.
fuzzy.
Yeah, so that sounds good to me. I mean, not good as in actually beneficial, but interesting. Definitely interesting. Tell me a little bit more about this person that you're with. What's their species?
I think they're also Zabrak.
Okay.
And yeah.
Male, female, undetermined, agender?
I
What do you
think female.
Okay. She says, only one of us is going to get out of here. Crash.
You're always such a pessimist. Just let me work this. And I'm trying to jam some sort of control panel. And right as I say, like, let me work this, it like zaps me. I'm like, ah.
Nice.
And then I cuss appropriately in Star Wars.
Nice. Crash. Just tell them what they want to know. They're going to keep torturing us until one of us breaks. So take the opportunity.
You know I can't do that. And you can't do that either. You need to hold on. This information is way bigger than us. I think Krish is like maybe young. Like in this picture, he looks like maybe he's 16. He might be like 11 or 12 in this flashback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Little boy.
What do we get? What's the impression we get of their relationship? Are they both a couple of young Zabraks who've been picked up in the middle of something greater than they should be involved in? Is she some kind of mentor figure?
Well, if it was a movie, right, and this is Star Wars, probably the audience's first reaction is like they got caught up in the rebellion somehow, and maybe they're spies or something like that, or maybe the Empire thinks that they know something and they really don't.
What's the impression I was getting? Cool. I like it. Does that feel good for your first vision?
That feels good.
We need to give a name, and maybe we'll try to find a pic of this Zabrak. I'm sure she'll become important later.
Yeah.
stick her like an entry for her in the NPCs, and we'll fill out those details. But it was captured. Cool. Yeah, Core for a bit there. Krish just stares off into the horizon as you're driving along on your ambulance. I dropped a pick. I cropped out the gun and I dropped that pick in for you down on starting a row 75.
So fast with the image editing. Awesome.
Cool. Good. So there was, in a previous iteration of Apocalypse World Tatooine, I had created a little custom move for when you go out into the sandstorm. I'm gonna grab it because it might be useful here. All right. Here is the move. Now, Corey, you can determine who does the move. I'm going to stick it underneath the basic moves. Yeah. It is when you travel during a sandstorm, roll plus cool. You can roll it because you're driving, or you can have Krish roll it because he's your guide. Totally up to you.
I'm also driving on my own. Like I brought my own vehicle so we can stuff as much as possible at my trailer and my own vehicle. So.
Okay.
What do you usually roll this move with? Which stat?
The stat of cool.
Cool. Okay. I have a 1 core.
Yeah, so do I. I think I let you roll it since you are supposed to be the guide. I'm following your lead.
Makes sense. I'm gonna look at the storm and breathe out and head into it. Let's see what happens.
Sweet. When you travel during a sandstorm, roll plus cool. On a hit, choose options. A 7 to 9, take 2. On a 10 plus, you got all 3.
All right.
Fresh of the desert.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Oh goodness.
We got a miss.
Yeah.
Of course we do.
And I didn't put a thing, but like on a miss, choose one and be prepared for the worst.
You said choose one and be prepared for the worst?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You aren't noticed by any sand people. You don't have to use up too much water.
Does -1 barter make sense with the new barter?
That's a great question. I think what I'll say is it'll be -1 barter until for the session.
Yeah, cool.
So we choose one. Okay. I choose one and prepare for the worst. Okay,
Right.
I think that everything else can go foobar.
Mm-hmm.
But if the sand people see us first, they're gonna think that we are hostile. So we're gonna say that we see them first before they see us.
Okay. So you aren't noticed by any sand people, but be prepared for the worst. So as you guys travel, what happens is that sandstorm just drops on you. It comes in faster than yes.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Actually, no, I do want to be noticed by sand people. That seems way more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to use up too much water or supplies. Let's say that we don't have to use up too much water or supplies, because that's what we're really hurting on.
I like it. So both of you will take, you're worn down by the heat and the sandstorm causes you to lose your breath. So each of you will take 1 harm AP, which means, hey, good news, just put you at 3 o'clock, but you do need to roll the harm move. It is AP, so it is 1 harm. It ignores your armor because it's the sand. So the harm move, by the way, don't forget to mark that you rolled cool for Krish. So you will need to mark the little XP thingy by cool right there at AY. There you go. Fantastic. So we're going to have Core Starfell go ahead and roll the harm move. So you roll plus harm taken. So you're going to roll 2d6 plus 1.
Well, I just need to get into the dice roller again. +1 to the 6.
Oh,
That's a
you
10.
suffer harm, you roll
That's-
minus the harm you suffered. So you're rolling
Minus the
2d6
harm.
minus 1.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it's flipped.
Yeah, so then it's an 8. I rolled with +1, so
Okay.
Mhm.
7 to 9, the MC chooses one. You lose your footing, you lose your grip on whatever you're holding, you lose track of someone or something you're tending to, you miss noticing something important. I want to see Kresh's hard move because I have an idea, but I want to make sure that it makes sense with both of your hard moves. So you're going to roll 2d6 minus 1 as well, Kresh.
Six.
Okay. On a miss, the MC chooses one. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. It's worse than it seemed, taking additional harm. Choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list. Yeah, I think what I'm going to say is that core, you lose track of Kresh in the sandstorm. Like, just you guys were driving like we had a speeder bike to carry more stuff, right? So Kresh, you get like blindsided and swallowed up by this huge sandstorm. It gums up your engines and your crappy speeder bike,
Oof.
and the thing just kind of lowers to the ground. And when you look around, you've lost core. You have no idea where he is. And it's like you're choking on it. You can feel sand in your nose. It gets everywhere. And we'll cut away from the two of you in the middle of the sandstorm with Sundown and Allie. So where were you guys headed? You finished up your job. Oh, Allie ignored Sundown. That's right. I'm sorry, I saw the comment there. So, Allie, you decided to ignore Sundown so that you had a culpable deniability there. Sundown, where are you headed once you are ignored by Allie?
Yeah, I need to find out what I remember El Cacti's deal is. I mean, I think the obvious thing is to just like go try to get close enough to El Cacti to observe them and use some psychic stuff on him.
Ooh, so you want to go find El Cacti, who of course is at Trask's Cantina.
Yep, perfect. And try to like wait, is it he, him, or is it, yeah, okay. Try to like watch him without being observed long enough to use a combination of eyes and force to figure him out.
Cool. I think it feels like you're trying to keep it together under stress, right?
Okay.
And I don't think harm is on the table here unless you fail, but I think acting under fire makes sense to me. So you're going to roll plus cool.
Okay. Cool.
And if you're successful, then he hasn't noticed that you're right here.
Awesome. I'm pretty cool, so let's try it. 10.
Oh, you are pretty cool. Go ahead and mark cool as one of the stats you just rolled.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is busy flirting with the soul dancer who is on staff today at Trask's Cantina. Her name's Hoshi. She's an Umbaran. You can see her down on row 17.
Oh, okay. I remember her. She was around for the last time we were in.
She sure
Okay.
was. So she's dancing and he's He's the kind of El Cacti's the kind of guy that spends money before he gets it. He's totally counting that this bounty is going to be all his, and he's flirting with Hoshi, chatting with her. Evidently, he's interested in Umbarans, even though they have very weird reputations in the Star Wars milieu. But you can watch him as he interacts with her. He's thrown a few credits her way, makes a few. Oh, nice picture, by the way. I just saw that we got a pic for our Zabrak. Very cool. Would you like to?
I would like to do a deep brain scan on him.
That's what I thought. Cool. All right. When you have time to study someone, you can read them more deeply than usual. Read someone, but roll plus weird.
Yep.
And you'll get
what is
all
my
the
weird
read
question?
someone questions and then a whole bunch extra.
Awesome. And I failed miserably in spite of my +2 weird.
Wow. You did. Goodness gracious. These dice, they're fun. So I think what happens is that you are observing him and you actually catch a little bit of his thoughts as he says. Oh, wait, let's double check. On read someone with a fail, do you get to ask a question anyway? Let me double check.
Oh, good question.
On a miss, the MC might have you ask one anyway, but be prepared for the worst. Hey, yeah, why don't you go ahead and ask a question?
Okay.
And you also get, like, you've got what was your lowest moment, unfinished business, deepest secret, get my hooks into you, as well as the read someone questions. You get a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, how could I really get my hooks into you is always an interesting question. So
Yeah, this is also a sad consequence for El Cacti. Indeed. So how can you get your hooks into him? Just want to check in. Like, or is it okay if the way to get hooks into El Cacti is through seduction? Is that cool?
yeah, it's all right with me.
It's what? I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, it's all right with me. I may or may not use it, but
Oh, exactly.
No.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that Cacti he's getting interested and excited in Hoshi here. And that's pretty much what he's into right now. However, because you did roll a miss, as you're reading in, Hutties for the Cacti. I like that. You're dialing into him and you catch, you're getting the vibe. All right, he's interested in running or something. And he's chatting with Hoshi and she's trying to, like, I've got to finish up my shift. And he says, come on, let's just go in the back. Let's just go in the back. Why not? Right? A little bit. He looks around. There's nobody here. Trask won't care. Let's just go in the back for a little bit. And then you catch the moment when he looks into some, like, a glass. Maybe there's a glass picture on the wall, something. And he catches sight of you. And you hear in his head, he's like, Voodoo. She's right here. If I take this, I don't have to pay Allie anything. Because she didn't do anything. She's messing with dewbacks. All right, nice and easy. Nice and easy. You see him start to reach for his blaster rifle that he's got propped up, like leaning against the table. What do you do, Sundown? Oh, you're talking on mute.
What do I do?
Oh, by the way, to the right of El Cacti is the map of the cantina. It's like, if you're the kind of person that having the visual. Of
Yeah, actually, that is helpful. That is very helpful.
I think Cacti is like she's on the stage, so I imagine that he's if you go down to the right, one of the little kind of L booths there. So maybe I can
Wait, where am
screen
I?
might be easier if I screen share than
Oh, there's the cantina. Okay.
hand gesturing. I'll quickly do this.
Oh, there's the
So
stage. Okay.
yeah, the stage is here. This is where Hoshi was dancing, and he's offered her some credits and lured her down here. And I imagine maybe you were somewhere around this area watching him. This is El Cacti, and he's sitting there, and yeah, you hear him realize you're there and plan to take you out. What do you do?
Okay. Okay. Cool. What do I do? I want to try to like retreat back and hide in this area with the bar.
Okay.
So
So you're trying to
like a
get out of here.
long-term hiding. I just want to like get out of sight in case he just decides to take a shot at me, you know. I want to make that difficult for him. Also, there's probably some sort of weapons that can be found, you know, in the bar area.
Yeah. I mean, Trask probably, you know, he's got a scatter gun underneath the bar.
Oh yeah.
He brags about it.
I mean, we're on Tatooine. All bars have some kind of sort of gun.
All cantinas have scatter guns somewhere. I think he's just gonna go ahead. He flips his little blaster rifle to stun, and he's gonna just open fire right here in the middle. There's maybe a dozen people here in the cantina right now. So let's have you act under fire, right?
Sure. Literally. That's cool, right? Yeah, cool. All right. I have a +2, which means I will fail. Oh, no, actually, I did not fail.
Wow. That's fantastic. So you hear that sound of the stunner going up and see a few of the blue circles kind of fire past you as he fires stunner bolts. And you said you were going to try to like hop over the bar, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to get behind the bar.
Sweet. Trask is an irascible Deveronian. They're the ones that kind of look like a devil. And he's got a pair of like horns, red skin. You hop over, and he sees this. His eyes get wide, and he drops down. And he's grabbing his scatter gun. What did you do?
Nothing. I was just here. You saw?
I wasn't paying attention. Whatever you did, apologize.
I don't think that'll work.
I've got my scatter gun, Cacti. Says, no, it's a bounty. It's fine. I'm authorized.
Are any customers fleeing the cantina?
Yes, there are some customers fleeing the cantina, Ali.
Because from my point of guard duty on the Dubak farm, I would see people fleeing the cantina.
You certainly would. You see people fleeing the cantina.
I need to intervene. Otherwise, they may go for the Dubaks.
Exactly. They may. So, Ali, you step into the cantina, and you see that El Cacti has his blaster rifle up. He's aiming towards the bar. Trask is kind of he pops his head up a little bit and doesn't get shot at. He's like, Cacti, take it outside.
And I think I will address Cacti across, people scurrying about, taking cover. And I'll shout across the room at El Cacti, is this related to our business enterprise?
Yes, he was trying to rip you off because I heard him.
Oh, does that sound like interrupt?
It's interrupt someone. Roll plus say checks on any hit. You're there first, you're in their way, you're ready for it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So at this point, Cacti's probably advancing on the bar. So Ali, you're trying to.
I need to know if this is our business.
He'll say, yeah. Sundown's she's behind the bar. Come on, let's get her.
Sundown?
She's the bounty.
Oh.
He was trying to get me before you could. Yeah, I'm like trying to tell him, even if it weren't true, I would be. As soon as I hear Ali Like
Spitting
he's,
up.
he's trying to rip you off so he wouldn't have to pay you.
Are you trying to sway someone, Sundown?
Yeah, I sure am.
All right. When you sway someone, try to sway someone to your side or a way of thinking, roll plus cool.
Awesome. Yeah, the dice room does not like me today. I failed. Yet again.
Oh man, oh man. Don't forget to mark your cool. There you go.
Oh,
Much
that's
closer to
three
your
uses of cool. Okay.
Sweet. So with a fail on a miss, be prepared for the worst. I think the miscondition is that Cacti says 10,000 creds.
Is condition important?
Yeah, it's got to be alive. I've got it on stun. Don't kill her.
Really?
Really? We don't get spit if you kill her.
Okay. I leap across the room onto the top of the bar.
Oh yeah, Cacti's into this. He's like, oh man, this is awesome. I may have to work with Ali more later. Ali appears on top of the bar.
Well, technically, I should get to roll impossible strength.
Ooh, fun.
I think. Oh no,
Sure.
sorry. Any time you think your impossible strength might help you, ask the MC to choose.
Okay.
You can try something challenging in order to do it when otherwise you couldn't. You get +1 to your roll, +1 choice, or +1 hold, or you get +1 harm or add AP. I don't think that's relevant. I was thinking that I was probably going to have to try something challenging.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. Let's have you try something challenging. And that's a pretty crazy thing how fast you're moving.
So I will roll. So do I get +1 to roll with aggro?
Sure. Go ahead
Okay.
and take a +1 on rolling.
So that'll turn it into a +2. So I'll roll a 2d6. 4 + 2 is a 6.
Man, oh man.
I've joined the Sundown Club.
Sweet. I think you get a face full of scattergun. Right? You like just appear out of nowhere and trash it goes off. He talks about his scattergun, but it's not like he takes it out to a range or anything. So you get shot right in the face. You make the jump on top of the bar, and then scattergun Star Wars shotgun kind of deal, right? So it throws a bunch of pellets your way. Ding, 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 ding. You do have armor. I think that a scattergun is 3 harm. So what's your armor?
It's 1. I don't think the stealth is engaged.
That makes sense.
So I'll take 2 harm.
Take 2 harm. So roll 2d6 -2.
Ooh.
And after we do this harm, we're going to cut away to the sandstorm.
11 - 2 is 9.
Ooh, 9. Okay, so on 7 to 9, the MC chooses 1. Lose your footing, I think feels right. Right? Knocks you down. So you take the 2 harm, you get knocked off of the bar, and he Trask will grab your shoulder, Sundown, and go, open that, crawl the hell out of here. And he's pointing towards
I will do that.
little trapdoor thing. And yeah. So cool. We'll cut away from Core. You've had to take shelter. Do you imagine that you have found like rock outcropping similar to a cave? Or have you just shut everything down on your pretty tough looking ambulance and sit tight?
Yeah, I think when I noticed that I lost track of Crash, I think I find not like a full outcropping, but maybe a couple of big boulders, and I like park tight close to them so that they're between me and the worst of the sand, and I typical, can't trust anyone.
Nice. How do you go about trying to find Crash? Just to talk through, like you've got some options. You could try to read a situation. You could open your brain to the maelstrom. Those are probably the two easiest. But if you have anything else that you exactly. Where is he? Where is he?
Yeah, I think read the situation is what makes the most sense to
Okay.
me.
When you read a situation, sorry, my brain goes back to the older version. You roll plus sharp.
Yeah,
And your sharp is +2.
okay. So 2d6 +2.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was Ali's roll. I got all excited for you.
That's a 13.
Oh,
I know
wow.
everything about sandstorms.
So much
Apparently.
sandstorm knowledge. Your kin is good. On a 10 plus, you get to ask me 3 questions right now.
Cool. Yeah, what's my best way? Yeah, out or around or through. Best way to Mos Espa, I guess.
Really? You're just gonna move on? Just getting out of
I
here?
mean, that's one question I'm going to ask.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I mean, Kresh was supposed to be my guide.
Mhm.
I assume that he's lost. I've lost track of him, but he knows what he's doing supposedly. So I'm sure he's fine.
Oh,
But
that's
I mean-
true. He probably just left you behind. That's a fair assumption. Cool.
But
Yeah, you check a little bit of telemetry and you're able to see a couple of larger like there's a mesa and you can orient yourself around. You think you should be able to find the right direction. It's just pushing through will probably be a trial, but
Yeah.
you know generally where to go. I'll give you a +1 when you try to get there.
So that's one thing. I mean, what should I be on the lookout for? I assume.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You see that there are several sand people walking single file behind a bantha
Oh.
towards, not towards you. Like they're just walking right past you. They're headed towards someone or something.
Well, that's a bit odd. Well, I guess who or what represents the biggest opportunity for me to find Kresh, since there is that option. And now I
Yeah.
know I can get through by myself, but it's still better if it's with.
Yeah, you can pick out the silhouette of what looks like Kresh's speeder bike. Except it's not, in the air, it's just on the ground.
And is that where the Sand people are heading?
They're headed directly towards him. Yeah.
Yeah. Typical, he's supposed to help me stay safe from the Sand people. Now I have to rescue him. So I'll fire up the speeder truck again and try to get there before the Tuscans get there, but not like I don't want to drive like right through them or anything.
Sure. You're just trying to end around.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's have you act under fire. And you're
Cool.
acting on information from your read to sitch. So you get +1.
Yeah, so I should mark sharp ones and then.
Cool for what you're about to roll.
Yeah.
And hey, Kresh, if you want to help, you hear the low hum of Core's cool speeder that hasn't broken down.
Okay. Yeah. What would I roll? Help has its own move, right?
It does. Now, the way that help works in this game is you ask the person who's going to be rolling, how can I help? They tell you what they envision you need to do. Then you'd roll HX if you decide you want to have your character do that.
Gotcha. Okay. How can I help, Core?
I figure the ambulance truck thing is maybe it's big enough that you could load your speeder bike into it So I guess getting ready to do that, like you know I'm coming and your bike isn't working, but get ready to load it onto the truck so we can leave quick.
Sounds good. I assume the position to like push the car that the vehicle that is no longer working.
Yeah,
Okay.
like tighten down everything and so it's just ready.
Sounds good.
Cool. So I'm rolling with +2, right? Because it's cool, and I got an extra +1.
And then Chris, you'll roll HX, roll plus your HX that you have to core. So for you, oh, you didn't write those down. He did give you food, so it would be +1.
Mhm.
Who
Allie
rolls
did not, so it's
first?
-1.
Do I roll first? Did I just you roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll first.
That's a 9. So help will be useful.
Yep. So you'll be rolling +1.
9 for help.
Okay. On 9 for help. I think that pushes you up, but let's double check it. So help someone. On any hit, your help bumps their roll from a miss to a 7 to 9, a 7 to 9 to a 10+. Cool. Good. So with the 10+, you are able to zip around, and Kresh, you've got your bike. You could throw it in the back of Core's ambulance, and Core with that 10+, you just end around the bantha. The bantha lets out a snort, and the sand people as you zip away from them, and you give them the slip. That's good. I like it. I like it. We cut to sundown. You've gone through the trap door. There's evidently like a crawl space here, and looks like the crawl space will take you a few different ways. You could head out and underneath and get out of here, or you could maybe go somewhere else in the cantina. What do you want to do?
Is there any more chaos I could cause in the cantina? I think I'm just gonna get out of here.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
gonna, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna go like, I'm gonna go let the band, or not the banthas, the dewbacks go.
Oh no. You're just gonna be mean to poor Allie.
I'm gonna steal one. Well, you know, she did try to, she did not only, but like argued with taking me alive. So
I mean, yes, this is a true statement. What a shame. What a shame. Oh, all right. Cool. So you head out. Allie, did you roll did we have you roll the harm move? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I don't think we did.
Okay, let's have you do that.
So-
yeah, you
did.
you lost your balance, was it? Or
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Right.
I'm flat out in the bar. Yeah, he blew me off the top of the bar.
Yeah, you got blown off the top of the bar. Trask is still behind the bar. You're on your back, and Cacti comes over and goes, "Get up, be professional. You make me look bad."
Can I just? You may want to cast your eye down to row 74, Rich.
Oh,
Because
no.
I have a suspicion my programming is about to kick in,
Oh, goodness.
despite my efforts to stay calm.
Oh man, I love that this game uses the words mollify and prevaricate. Just love that I have to look words up.
And I'm not entirely certain where the focus of that fury is. It's either the guy who shot me off the top of the bar, or it's someone who just suggested that I'm not very good.
I think it might be Cacti.
Because he's much closer.
He is also standing over you and has a gun. You're programming.
And it would be very straightforward to just unfold the vibro blade out of my right arm.
Yeah, you do that, and he's going to try to whoa. I guess you're gonna confront someone here.
I'm going to confront someone.
All right. Confronting is rolling plus aggro, so don't forget to mark that.
+1 then. That is 11.
Oh my goodness gracious. So with a confront someone on 11, he has to suck it up or do what you want. What do you want him to do?
I want him to apologize. How dare you criticize my actions?
And he sees that, and you actually catch him like playing with he's got like a little switch on the blast rifle that flips it to stun versus blaster, and he's considering it.
I think he has considered this for too long.
Yeah, sorry. Let's go. Let's just find Sundown.
I'm afraid I consider this apology insufficient as I get to my feet. I dislike the way that you are disrespecting me and my professional capabilities. And
Yeah,
I begin to
blaster
walk before him.
He's
towards him.
going to bring the blaster rifle up to bear. Stand back, you stupid bucket of bolts.
And then I attack him with the vibro blade.
Okay, this is definitely an attack.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like
do battle.
Yeah, it's do battle.
I
So
am at
it's-
risk here, I think.
I think so.
Okay, so do battle is roll plus hard.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, so 2d6 plus 2. Oh dear, that is a 6.
Oh dear. On a miss, be prepared for the worst.
Indeed so.
Yeah, I think what happens is that he's just gonna light you up, right? It just seems like that's what happens. So you're gonna take, you do have armor, so you only take 2 harm. That's you're actually, wow, you're gonna get pretty messed up. You're at 10 o'clock.
I am.
And let's have you go ahead and roll the harm move. So 2d6 minus 2.
That is a 3.
It is. Okay. On a miss, choose one. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. I think feels right. Like you just, you take a lot of damage, you fall down, and Cacti's not really like a droid expert, so he thinks you're dead. And he's going to head out trying to find Sundown. Sundown, you have, because the guard isn't there, because Allie decided to just like leave in the middle of guard duty.
Yeah,
You're going to head
should I do
out
that?
and like let some dewbacks out. Is that what the plan was?
Yeah, I don't actually want to steal any. Mostly, I want to get Allie to come back here and guard the dewbacks instead of attacking me, because I already have one bounty hunter to deal with. So like it isn't just petty revenge, although there's a little bit of that. Mostly it's I want to keep Allie occupied.
Cool. Allie's pretty occupied. You don't know that, but
Yeah, but I don't know that.
that's right. Sweet. So you pull the gate, maybe you whistle to a couple of the dewbacks, those huge lizards, right, that we see in New Hope that carried a few stormtroopers, and they start lumbering out. And as you're doing that, maybe you move out of the way and you see the Nautilin, Lomez. He comes out. He's got like a Star Warsy version of one of those little fans with the spritzer thing. And he's just like spritzing, and he comes out of his office. He's like, the gate's open. The gate's open. And he starts running towards the gate. And I thought we had a droid to help with this. Clarel. And he's gonna deal with that, Sundown. And you've completed your bad deed for the day. And then you hear more people, like someone's coming out of the cantina. You spot that it is Cacti, but he hasn't seen you yet, but he's looking for you. What do you do?
Cool. Let's see. I mean, I have a blaster, but that seems like, he's way better armed and probably more dangerous than I am. On the other hand, the blaster is silenced. So like, even if I were to miss, or, he wouldn't necessarily immediately identify where it was coming from. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get the drop on him.
Sweet. Attack someone. You get to roll
Yeah.
plus hard.
Cool.
You
My heart is
are
bad.
Yeah, you're not hard, but you do get to mark a tick on the hard. So
Yep. What was my heart? -1. Oh, good. Oh, it's an 8.
an 8. Awesome. On any hit, you inflict harm as established. What does your blaster do? 2 harm?
2. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. And then on 7 to 9, you get to choose one. Inflict terrible harm, seize hold of something, get them out of your way, and press frighten or dismay or pin them down. Make them immobilized, cornered, boxed in, can't move freely.
I want to impress, frighten, or dismay him.
That makes sense. Yeah, so you fire and hit him in the chest. He gets knocked back and he runs back into the cantina.
Excellent.
And you can deed him out. You can get out of there.
Yep, I'm going to do that.
Sweet. So just looking at time, because there is some like end of session stuff, I think Core and Cisco, you guys will be coming out of the sandstorm and see Mos Espa ahead of you. And in Book of Boba Fett, they show some really cool pictures of Mos Espa. It's like a valley, like it's like a reverse mesa. It's super dope looking. So you guys are coming and you see Mos Espa beneath you, and you've reached it. You made it. It's good. You
Rich,
survived.
don't forget that you carry that point that's left to the next
Yes,
session.
thank you. Unless I wanted to use it up right here at the end, do I? I think I'm going to hold it because I want to be able to do some of those like 2 visions. I'm going to put a note here. MC has 1. Sweet. That'll remind me that I've got those. And yeah, notes is a real good thing. Thank you for putting that in, Beth. That's a really good idea. Cool. Then I think so. We have some time for end of session. We'll stop here. So we have Allie looking dead or inoperable. We have Sundown has given Cacti the slip. Core and Kresh arrive at Mos Espa, and that's the end of our first session. So we've got a number of things to do here as end of session. The first thing that we do is the HX piece. And I'm going to start from the right-hand side and head towards the left. And the question is just, who knows you better? So Kresh, who knows you better from this first session? I realize that you only interacted with one PC, so probably that
Probably
one.
Core, yeah.
Core. So Core, you're going to add +1 HX. Now you can also answer, no one knows me better, or you can say someone knows me worse than they thought they did. But it seems like you guys had a relatively genial relationship. So yeah, so then Core, you will add +1 HX with Kresh on your function. It looks like you're doing that. So you went to -1. Sundown, who knows you better? Or if no one knows you better, who doesn't know you as well as you thought?
I mean, the answer is Allie either way. I'm not sure if she knows me better or if she, I think she knows me better because she's just learned that she doesn't know me as well as she thought.
Nice.
So I think she knows me better now.
Okay, so Allie, you get to add +1 with Sundown, so that takes you to a 0. Core, who knows you better?
Yeah, Kresh, definitely.
Okay. Then Kresh, you get to go to a +2 with Core. It's on row 41 if you wanted to find the HX with Core. And then Allie, who knows you better?
Oh, I think Sundown absolutely knows me much better.
There you go.
I am as dangerous and unpredictable as she thought, only more so.
Yep. So if you would go to a +4, you actually roll over. So 3 things happen. You reset it to HX +1 and mark 1 XP. So a full XP, like the improvement thing, you get a full one of those. So the things on row 37, 38, you get to take one of those for sundown. The next thing that happens is, and if you want to think about this, Bethany, that's totally cool. You can ask it at the top of the next session.
Okay.
But I've got the session to end. You get to ask a question or tell them. So a secret you've learned or realized about you. I'm more open than I thought. You gain +1 HX with me. I'm thinking of doing so-and-so. What's your take? What's our next step? Whenever your HX with someone reaches -3, you also reset. So those are the cool things. And that's all of our HX, right? So now I'll start with Allie, and I'll ask you a couple of questions. The first one is, are you satisfied with your place in the world?
No.
Okay, then you get 1 XP. And then you get to judge for yourself. Does your scavenge choice still hold true?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then if your scavenge choice still holds true, then you get another XP. Now that's not the ticks on the moose. You get 2 XP. So you get 1 XP because you're not satisfied with the world, and 1 XP for your scavenge still holding true.
Very cool.
Now we will move to core. So core, I ask you the same question. Are you satisfied with your place in the world?
Oof. I think I'm satisfied with my place in the world. I'm not satisfied with the world, if that, that makes sense. So I don't know how that works out.
I think I would say you're dissatisfied with your place in the world because you can't make the world work the way you want it to.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That way you get an XP. That's why I'm phrasing it that way.
Yeah.
And
I thank you for that.
You're welcome. And then does your scavenge choice still hold true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you get a second XP. Now we will go to sundown. Are you satisfied with your place in the world, sundown? With a bounty on your head? And
Oh, no.
then does your scavenge still hold true?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark 2 more improvements. You are
Ooh, cool.
furthest along. And then Kresh, are you satisfied with your place in the world with a broken speeder bike? And
No, I'm pretty disappointed that I aided as a guide. I didn't do my job.
and then does your scavenge still hold true?
What? Scavenge. You don't have goods to trade, or
Yeah, you
no.
don't. Nobody trusts you, and I think that
Yeah.
still feels right.
It still holds true. So where do I mark the 2 experience?
Okay, so there's a line called improvement. It's down on row 37. You're going to mark 2 of those ticks.
Oh, so I can take 2 advancements? No,
you have to
Okay.
get 6 of those, and then you'll get to mark an advancement.
Okay, got it. And then once I roll enough times, I also get to mark one.
Exactly. When you've rolled 4 times on cool, then that rolls to a full XP. All right. With our remaining 10 minutes, I definitely wanted to mark out some time to do stars and wishes. But before we do that, I'd like to take a real quick, 2-minute bio. All right, we are at the end of session for stars and wishes. We will start with wishes so that we can end with stars. Let's start from the right-hand side of the character keeper. So, Cisco, what wishes do you have from this session? Wish it could be anything from there are things I'm interested in engaging with from a mechanics standpoint, or this is a storyline I definitely am intrigued by, or this is a point of confusion I have with the rule set. That's totally valid and legitimate. Wish.
I'm looking forward to some advancements. That will be cool. And just essentially seeing how this playbook works. It just seems really interesting. And then I'll bring a couple preloaded things, nothing written in stone.
Mhm.
But if you try to suss something out of me, I will at least have a few things maybe front loaded just in case.
Cool. I'm also hoping to do the same. Trill.
Awesome.
I like that. I like that name. She does look like she's in trouble. Cool. Thank you very much, Cisco. And we will move from the right to over a little bit, which means it is your turn, Bethany. What wishes do you have?
Yeah, I want to see these, you know, these characters meet up, the two pairs of characters, I guess, and, you know, see what horrifying chaos can result from that. And yeah, I guess this is, I was way overconfident that I understood the different iterations of Apocalypse World and how they differed from each other, and totally did not read this. So I'm gonna read it for next time.
I mean, I hope I've done an okay job of helping you get
Yeah,
more comfortable
yeah.
as we're going. And I think you're doing fine. I think you're just doing just fine, Bethany. Yeah, we'll definitely get the PCs to meet up so you don't have to just interact with the one who's chasing you.
The one who's trying, yeah. Although it is fun, just immediately trying to kill each other.
We've gotta miss it at a very inappropriate time, and that's where I
Yep.
went.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Andish, what about you? What wishes do you have?
Same as Bethany, I think. Just to see the characters bump into each other and try to figure out the parts of the system I don't quite get yet. I had the same thought. I mean, it's an apocalypse world. How complicated can it be? How weird can it be? And immediately there's things I don't know what they are. But I don't feel lost in it, so yeah, it's fine. But it's interesting to a game that I have played, not extensively, but like see a new take on it. It's fun.
It's pretty wild. There's enough different in this to where you really can't rely on old knowledge at all. It's coming at from a very different angle. It's pretty fascinating. Cool. And then last but not least, Alan.
I'm not sure I have any wishes at this point. I just had a ball because you know, I have managed to display my programming in action. I've attempted to be a badass. May not have come off entirely as planned. So no, I go away from this session with a really three-dimensional idea of Ali. You know, I've played to find out, and I found out. So
That's cool.
no, I just want to see where it goes.
Good. I do too. I like these characters. It was a little Keystone Coppery a bit getting started. I chalk some of that up to loopiness from lack of sleep and the like, but I feel like we've got enough framework for some really interesting things going forward. Awesome. Alan, we'll do this in snake order, so I'll stick with you. What stars would you like to hand out? Do you have any?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've just had a great fun. I think the rule set is an improvement. I think the simplification of do battle, the separation out of attacking, all of that, I think is really smooths it out a lot for me, given I played this in the autumn using the old set, which it is clunky. And the barter is sensible. I think that's really
Yes.
sensible. Yes. So no, all of that, fine. A star to you for, you know, staying with it, because, you know, I know at the start of this, and maybe now you're not feeling great, and reflect that, Cisco, because, you know, you're clearly under the weather, my friend. So thank you for sticking with it. And Anders and Bethany, we haven't played together much or for a long time, and it's really nice to be in a game with you again. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alan, for that. Anish, any stars?
Yeah, it's like Alan said, it's lovely to play with all of you. I've played with everyone at least once before, but other than Rich, I think it's only been like once with each of you. So it's a lot of fun to have get to play a game with all of you together. I think all the characters are interesting and fun, and it will be cool to see how they interact, to see if we find some sort of agreement on things, or if we continue to try to kill each other directly, or I said intentionally, or just getting each other lost in sandstorms all the time. Yeah, thanks.
And now I have Darude playing in my head again. So yeah.
I did have one more wish. I'll say that I want my character or our characters to meet Tuscans. That would be neat. And then I have stars.
Wait, we jumped.
Oh, we did? Oh, my bad. I thought it was my turn. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Let's see. Okay, stars. Yeah, stars to Alan for just like immediately jumping in, and like I have a really hard time like getting a character, you know, like knowing how a character should talk and what they should do, even if it's a previous character that I've had before, like now. So like I'm always impressed when somebody just immediately jumps in and like has a voice and knows exactly what they're gonna do, and that was really cool. And on top of that, being an agent of chaos, you got things moving really quick. And yeah, stars to Rich for reacting to those really unexpected failed rolls. Like, oh, +3. Oh, I have a 5. Great.
That was like, wow, okay, they were doing this then.
Yeah. Yeah. We there was a lot of stuff happened in this one session. We already had a bar fight and people lost in a sandstorm. I mean, this is good. This is very Star Wars.
Good. I'm glad. Oh, Cisco, what about you? You got any stars left over?
I do. Bethany, I loved your Agent of Chaos moment, letting all the dewbacks out. That was awesome. Loved Allie's murder bot moment. That was great. Love Core's ambulance picture and his profile picture, and the fact that, of course, he saved the day. That was so good.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. And then start to Rich for, yeah, like Bethany said, like answering to all those hard moves. There was a lot of misses. So well done.
Thank you. Well, I was excited to have an all-star group in this session, and it was definitely worth sticking it out to play with you all. Thank you so much. And we will see what happens in Moshuta next week, and we'll stop the recording here. Thank you all so much.